Like millions of turkeys across the land, the St. Louis Cardinals could become just one more dead bird in their Thanksgiving Day game in Dallas against the Cowboys. A St. Louis loss and a Washington sweep of their remaining games would cut the Cards out of the playoffs. But don't ever count the cardiac Cards out. Week after week, they stop the hearts of their faithful and keep fans, players, and even coaches kicking. Their game against the Cowboys would mark the 8th time in 12 starts that the outcome of a St. Louis game was in doubt until the game's final play. Although Dallas leads the division, the Cowboys haven't exactly been blowing people away of late. Since the onset of Roger Staubach's injured pinky, they have narrowly beaten the Giants and the Bills. And last week, Dallas lost to the Falcons. If the Cowboys don't get on their horses today, the division will be up for grabs once more. Since their last game, which the Cardinals won, bad blood has developed between the two teams, an added element to the game which was seized upon by Cowboy fans who decked the walls with signs. This one is our choice for the best of the Thanksgiving Day category. But on this day, when millions were at home giving thanks, some signs belied the peaceful nature of the holiday. One neck in particular was that of number 85, Mel Gray. In the first Dallas-St. Louis game, Gray had incensed the Cowboys secondary with a disdainful spike between two fallen Dallas defenders. His actions did not sit well with the Cowboys, and on the game's first play from scrimmage, Gray paid for his indiscretion. On a seemingly harmless play, Gray's arm was injured and he was forced to sit out the remainder of the first half. In fact, Gray in particular, and the Cardinal offense in general, was missing for most of the opening half. Only once did the feared Cardinal offense move with consistency, and ironically, that march was sparked by two receptions good for 20 yards to number 83, Pat Tilley, who came into the game when Gray was injured. Tilley, a rookie who went to Louisiana Tech, the same school that produced Baltimore's burner Roger Carr, has great hands and has been doing an excellent job filling in for Gray, who has missed a lot of action recently due to a broken nose. In this game, his two catches on the first and second plays of the second quarter got the St. Louis passing attack rolling. Three hard completions for 42 yards brought the ball to the 4-yard line, from where Steve Jones followed number 64, guard Bob Young, right over Leroy Jordan for the touchdown. But on the play, the Cardinals were called for holding, nullifying the touchdown. Can you guess who the guilty party was? Number 88, J.V. Kane, was called for holding, but his penalty was quickly offset when on the very next play, number 42, Randy Hughes, was called for interfering with Ike Harris. Instead of 3rd and 12, St. Louis had a 1st and 10 from the 10. And 2 plays later, Jones reclaimed his touchdown, this time crashing over number 43, Cliff Harris, for the score. Jones, a 200-pounder, is often used when the Cardinals get in close, and his goal line power run had brought another St. Louis scoring drive to a successful conclusion. While Jim Hart was beginning to find the range, Roger Staubach was having another inconsistent passing day. It's hard to say how much the injured finger is affecting him, although Staubach claims not at all. And part of his showing could be attributed on this play to 10 bad fingers of Scott Laidlaw. Laidlaw's bobble was correctly ruled an incompletion, not a fumble, for he never had control of the ball. Therefore, Mike Sensabaugh's touchdown did not count, but the Cardinals had held Dallas on their own 11, and the field position on the resulting punt led to St. Louis' only other scoring chance of the first half. On a fake field goal, Roger Worley failed to get the first down, an opportunity that had been set up by poor Dallas passing. So on Dallas' next possession, Roger did it with his legs. Staubach picked up 33 yards on 2 scrambles, then hit a wide-open Scott Laidlaw for the score. Each team would mount just one scoring drive until just over 2 minutes remained in the half, as both teams gave ground grudgingly. Unable to sustain a drive, Hart began putting up long passes and very nearly clicked on a dilly to Tilly. Both teams' offenses were frustrated, and it was after just such a non-gaining drive by Dallas, which was forced to punt, that the pivotal play of the first half unfolded. With just 72 seconds left in the half, Dallas successfully completed a fake punt pass play from Danny White to Benny Barnes, good for 43 yards. White, the Cowboys' backup quarterback, has the option of using this play if he notices a full-blown rush coming, and that's just what he saw. On a repeat, we can see that Clarence Duran, number 41, who would usually have been blocking Barnes to keep him from covering the punt, had made a fatal charge into the Cowboys' backfield. While the Cardinals had failed on a fake field goal try, the Cowboys had succeeded on a fake punt that carried to the St. Louis 29. And a Staubach pass to Drew Pearson plus a penalty had Dallas on the Cardinal 4-yard line. Despite his hands-off gesture, number 67 Larry Stallings was called for piling on. And from the 4, Staubach dropped back again, then tried to pull the ball down and run. The ball popped out, but fortunately for the Cowboys, Staubach's arm had moved forward, and the loose ball was ruled an incomplete pass. With 20 seconds left, Staubach this time rolled out. Though the play was an option pass or run, he took no chances this time and rolled in for the go-ahead score. The touchdown really hurt the Cardinals, and not just because it put them behind, but because it came so demoralizingly late in the half, and had resulted because they had been duped on a fake punt. Score at halftime, Dallas 14, St. Louis 7. Throughout the first half, Tom Landry's Cowboys had held the Cardinals' explosive offense pretty much in check. Jim Hart had been unable to detonate the bomb. Mel Gray had merely a single reception, and as we have seen, terrific Terry Metcalf was upset with his first half stats of only 8 yards rushing and 1 harmless catch for 5 yards. For the entire third quarter and most of the fourth, Metcalf and the Cards discovered they would fare no better as Doomsday continued to shut off St. Louis' high-powered attack. Number 79, Harvey Martin's diving interception of a pass tipped by Charlie Waters was the first of the day for Dallas, and his agility demonstrates the exceptional athletes Dallas has at the end position, with a 6'5" Martin and his 6'9" partner, Too Tall Jones. But while the Cowboys' defense was having a Thanksgiving feast on St. Louis, their offense was having problems moving the ball against the much-improved Cardinal defensive platoon. The most important addition here has been number 63, defensive end John Zook. who was obtained from the Falcons for a #1 draft choice. The Cardinals have long needed and long looked for a powerful force at one of the end positions. In Zook, St. Louis apparently has the man they so desperately needed. While the Big Red defense excelled, Dallas still managed to put 3 points on the board early in the fourth quarter when Efrain Herrera punched a long one from 42 yards out. Dallas' lead was increased to 10 over the Cards with much of the final period yet to be played. On their next series, Hart wasted no time in putting the ball in the air and for the second straight time was intercepted, this time by number 31 Dallas cornerback Benny Barnes. With a big break and possession inside St. Louis territory, Dallas continued to have their own problems moving the ball. After going nowhere on the ground and 2 downs on the third, Staubach went for the deep 6 to Drew Pearson, but number 43 St. Louis cornerback Norm Thompson made an excellent save, and Dallas was forced to punt. Here was to come one of the key plays in this critical game. Dallas was kicking from the Cardinal 41, and their strategy was for punter Danny White to go for the coffin corner. His punt bounced into the hands of Tom Henderson, who on a great effort spiked it out of bounds on the 4. A repeat of this key play shows Henderson, number 56, was the outside man, who sped around 2 Cardinal blockers and shook off a third to get to the punt, and then guided out of bounds on the 4-yard line. It was an exceptional individual effort and the kind of play that makes the members of the special teams so valuable in the NFL. None more so than Henderson, a second-year linebacker from Langston, who was the Cowboys' first draft pick a year ago and is being groomed to replace either Leroy Jordan or D.D. Lewis. The punt put the already burdened Cardinal attack deep in a hole, and after 2 one-yard thrusts on the ground, Hart from his own end zone threw deep and almost connected. St. Louis was now forced to punt from deep in their end zone. Watch Henderson, number 56, move from his position over center to the left flank. St. Louis seemingly picked him up, but nonetheless, when the ball was snapped to punter Terry Joyce, Henderson was there to block it. Another great effort by Tom Henderson and the Cowboys special teams had paid off, this time in a safety that gave Dallas 2 points and increased their lead to 12 points. Of all the plays of this game, and there were many big ones, this was perhaps the most important of all. For now, with over 10 minutes to play, it would take 2 touchdowns by St. Louis to beat the Cowboys. But the situation appeared hopeless for St. Louis as their offense moved backwards. When Jim Hart suffered a rare sack on Randy Hughes' safety blitz, the Cardinals had to punt the ball away. But again, punter Terry Joyce participated in a less than pleasant way. Joyce's pure drop of a perfect center snap and the Cowboys' quick coverage of the air resulted in a 14-yard loss for St. Louis and another fine opportunity for Dallas in enemy territory. But just when things looked darkest for the Cardinals, the fortunes of the game suddenly changed. On a rollout to his right, Roger Staubach fumbled the ball, which St. Louis recovered on their own 32. The Cardinal offense was presented with another opportunity, and for the first time since early in the second quarter, they were up to the task as Jim Hart began a passing barrage that took them to the Dallas 24. Mel Gray, back in action after being injured on the first play of the game, met with some out-of-bounds resistance from defender Benny Barnes. But the Cardinal air attack was clicking at last. However, when Hart passed high to Terry Metcalf over the middle, the little setback was unable to reel the ball in, and the Cardinals' promising drive faced a 3rd and 10 challenge. Metcalf was replaced by more sure-handed Wayne Morris, and despite the fact the halfback from Southern Methodist is a rookie, Hart went to him in this crucial situation. Morris made the catch, but number 25, Aaron Kyle, came up fast to take him down 5 yards short of the first down marker. Because of Kyle's quickness, St. Louis was faced with 4th and 5 from the Dallas 19. A field goal was of no help now, so the Cardinals had to go for the touchdown. The Dallas defense braced for the 4th down attempt, armed with the knowledge that with Terry Metcalf on the bench and not playing particularly well, Hart's number 1 target had to be Mel Gray, decidedly off his game so far today. Despite the certainty of what was coming, Hart hit Gray over the middle, where a missed forearm shiver by Mark Washington gave Gray a chance to flash his speed. The Hart-to-Gray partnership had finally exploded by combining for a clutch touchdown in a crucial spot. St. Louis now trailed by 5 with less than 2 minutes remaining in the game. But this type of pressure situation is de rigueur for the Cardiac Cards. It was now up to the Cardinal defense to keep Dallas from a first down on the next series in order to give the offense any time at all to score a touchdown. The Cowboys never had a chance as red shirts poured in on every down and forced Dallas to give up the ball. But after 3 straight incompletions, Hart was in a hole. 4th and 10 from his own 37 as he went back for a pass he had to complete. Somehow, Ike Harris had worked his way free and clear as he came across the middle for the vital first down, and on the next play, Hart placed a beauty into the arms of Mel Gray at the right sideline. The perfect pass covered 27 yards all the way to the Dallas 13, and in typical fashion, the last-minute momentum belonged to St. Louis. From the 13 with 48 seconds showing, Hart saw J.V. Kane open in the end zone, but Dallas quickly recovered. On the near-miss touchdown, Hart saw Kane streaking into the open, pumped once, and was forced to throw off balance. If the pass had more on it, the Dallas defenders wouldn't have been able to converge on their collision course with J.V. Kane. Kane pleaded interference to no avail, but St. Louis still had 41 seconds to score. On second down, Tom Henderson, number 56, playing in the middle of a prevent defense, made another very important play using his great speed to stop Terry Metcalf at the 8. Third down now and only 17 seconds left in the game as Hart calmly took his place over center Tom Banks. As they usually do, the Cardinals' great offensive line gave Hart plenty of time to wait for a receiver to come open. But Cliff Harris slapped the ball away from J.V. Kane. The game and perhaps the Cardinals' chances for making the playoffs for the 3rd straight year rested on one final play from the Dallas 8. One last go for the Cardiac Cards against the Doomsday defense. In a heart-stopping last-second goal line stand, the Dallas Cowboys had prevailed over the Cardiac Cardinals, and sweet victory was theirs. Hero Tom Henderson made certain Mel Gray realize that fact. With 2 games remaining, both with teams within their division, Dallas is yet to be assured of a playoff berth, yet alone a division title. That's how tight the 3-way fight in the NFC Eastern Division is, going into the next to the last week of the season. But the Cowboys would have to lose both of their remaining games not to qualify for the coveted playoff spot, and that's highly unlikely, especially the way Dallas played against St. Louis. The Cardinals' status is up in the air. They have an outside chance depending on what Dallas and Washington do. But no matter what happens on this Thanksgiving Day in Dallas, the Cardinals and the Cowboys solidified a rivalry that promises to rank with the finest the game of football has ever offered.